adventure.
Socks and spoons seem to disappear without trace on a regular basis, but to be fair, we don't keep them under lock and key. Although that doesn't really matter, as diamonds and gold seem to go missing without trace as well. Throughout history, many valuables have gone missing, and it's not just in spy movies. I'm Cal from WhatCulture.com, and this is 10 lost treasures that we're still waiting to be found. Number 10. The Irish Crown Jewels. The Irish Crown Jewels consisted of an 8-pointed star made up entirely from diamonds, and a badge that featured an emerald shamrock and a ruby cross. The jewels were last worn to a St. Patrick's Day celebration back in March 1907, before being discovered missing on the 6th of July. That's quite a considerable gap. The king was furious that the jewels had been taken from the castle, and a full investigation into their theft was launched. Today, the Irish Crown Jewels would be worth well over £3 million, and no one knows where they are. I bet they're behind the bar in Dublin, where one of the locals got drunk visiting the king and nicked it. Number 9. The Florentine Diamond. The early years of the 137.27 carat yellow diamond are not well documented, but the diamond found its way to Austria during the early 1600s and was set into the Habsburg crown jewels, where it remained until the fall of the Austrian Empire at the end of the First World War. After the empire collapsed, Charles I of Austria was forced to flee in exile to Switzerland and took the Florentine diamond with him. It was later stolen along with other items belonging to the Habsburg crown jewels. It's rumoured to have been taken to the United States of America to be recut and sold on. Number 8. The Amber Room. The Amber Room, located in the Catherine Palace, was built during the 1800s and given as a gift from the King of Prussia Frederick William I to Tsar Peter the Great of Russia. During the Second World War, the Russians attempted to hide the room from a Nazi invader by covering it with wallpaper. This attempt at the deception sadly failed, as the Nazis seized the room, dismantling it and taking it back to East Prussia. It is highly likely that the room was destroyed during the British-Soviet bombing raids in the final days of the war. Although it's very difficult to lose an entire room, surely. Number 7. Kusanagi no Tsurugi, and I apologise whoever I've offended with that pronunciation. The Kusanagi no Tsurugi, I apologise again, is a sword of legendary origins that combines with a jewel and a mirror to make up the imperial regalia of Japan. As part of the Japanese tradition, the sword was presented to the new emperor and then allegedly stolen by a rogue monk during the 6th century, who attempted to smuggle it out of Japan. His ship is said to have sunk, and the sword claimed and recovered and taken to a shrine for safekeeping. Due to the priest's refusal to show anybody the sword, doubts are existing as to whether they are in fact still in possession of it, or if the sword exists at all. Number 6. The Polish Royal Casket. The Polish Royal Casket was a large wooden chest built to house 73 valuable relics and belonged to the Polish royal family. The 73 items inside the casket included a gold watch that had belonged to King Augustus II, a silver rosary that belonged to Queen Marie, and an ivory box once owned by King John III. For protection, the casket was transported to Krakow during World War II. Ultimately, the Nazis had looted it, and exactly what happened to the valuable items within the casket, or where they might be today, remains a complete mystery. Number 5. The Lost Hoard of the Flor de la Mar. The Flor de la Mar, or Flower of the Sea, was a Portuguese sailing ship and the biggest ship of her day. The ship served on the route known as the Portuguese India Run until its sinking in 1511. At the time of her sinking, the Flor de la Mar was carrying a huge hoard of treasure to take to the King of Portugal. The treasure had an estimated value of $2.6 billion worth of gold, remaining lost to this day, and I'm willing to hold my breath and swim down to the bottom of the sea for $2.6 billion. Number 4. The Lost Fabergé Eggs. Jeweller Peter Carl Fabergé was commissioned to design and craft 50 spectacular eggs as gifts for the imperial family of Russia. The eggs were made from the most expensive materials money could buy and often encrusted with precious stones. Following the murder of the imperial family during the Russian Revolution, the eggs became highly sought after by art collectors and museums. 43 out of the 50 eggs have today been found and recovered, and are located in museums and private collections, leaving just 7 eggs encountered. I wonder whether they've tried Kinder. Number 3. Dutch Schul's Stash. Dutch Schultz was a mobster who operated in New York City and whom the mafia murdered for going against them. Due to the investigations into his taxes, Schultz had decided to hide a fortune and keep it safe from authorities. To do this, he placed $7 million worth of cash into a safe before driving it to a secret location in New York. He buried it and was killed before he could retrieve the money or pass on its location, leaving it lost waiting to be found. Now everyone in New York will be walking around with a metal detector. Number 2, the lost city of Paititi. And again, I apologise if I've offended someone with a pronunciation. The city of Paititi exists in the legends of the Inca people that state its location and being is somewhere in the remote locations of the rainforest, in the borders of Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil. Paititi's link with the lost treasure comes in the wake of the Spanish conquest of the Incan capital, during which they stole all the Incas' gold. However, the amount of gold is believed to have only been a relatively small amount of the overall Incan wealth. The rest of the gold is speculated to have moved on and now lost in Incan refugee locations like Paititi. We've hit the top spot. Number 1, the treasure of Lima. This treasure is estimated to be worth of around £160 million, amassed by the Catholic Church during the Spanish occupation of the city of Lima in Peru. It has been lost since and was stolen and buried in 1820. I doubt it's the only thing buried in the Catholic Church. It consisted of many valuables including golden candlesticks, precious jewels, and 2 solid gold statues of the Virgin Mary. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.